So today we're going to dive into a really powerful Baha'i sacred writing. It makes this profound claim that we are living in a unique, pivotal time in history, and that this era demands a very specific response from each of us. Let's unpack that call to action. Right from the get-go, the text hits you with these profound, almost poetic lines. They immediately set up this grand idea that we're living in a special era, a day defined not by scarcity, but by this overwhelming abundance of divine mercy. And look, this isn't just some flowery language, right? It's the absolute foundation for everything that comes next.
So that leads us right into our first big theme, this whole idea of living in a time of mercy. The text talks about this as a period of just immense spiritual opportunity, when the clouds of his bountiful favor have overshadowed the whole of mankind.
Okay, so if we're in this special time, what are we supposed to do? Well, the text is super clear about this. This isn't about passively receiving grace. It's a direct command to act. The idea is you become a channel for that mercy, using the invigorating breeze of love and fellowship and the living waters of friendliness and charity to uplift other people.
All right, let's switch gears a bit. We're moving from what we do on the outside to, well, what's going on inside? This writing places this extraordinary emphasis on humility, framing it as absolutely essential for anyone who claims to be devoted to a higher purpose.
And just listen to the imagery here. I mean, wow. This isn't just about, being modest. It's a call for a humility so deep, so real, that the very dust on the ground could bear witness to it. It's a whole state of being. And to really hammer this point home, the text does something pretty incredible. It actually gives the earth a voice. So the earth itself becomes this teacher, challenging us by pointing out its own patience, its service to all of creation, and its total submissiveness as it's trodden upon. And this is just such a brilliant way to illustrate the main argument. The earth, which is constantly giving and sustaining every living thing, is held up as the perfect example of humble service. It just gives and gives without asking for anything back. What a powerful model for us, right? Okay, so what does this kind of humility actually look like when we're interacting with other people? Well, when you're talking about important truths, the text says to use a spirit of extreme kindness. The goal isn't about winning an argument or proving you're smarter. Nope, it's about gently helping others see. It's all about guidance, not conquest. So once you have that foundation of humility inside, the text pivots to what it considers our most important job on the outside, fostering unity. This is presented as the primary work of our time. The text really lays out a super clear and urgent choice for us. On one side, you have all the things that cause harm, dissension, strife, contention. And on the other, you've got the good stuff, amity, love, fellowship, the marks of true faith. The path is laid out pretty clearly. And here's the real kicker. It's this powerful, active command. This is not a suggestion, folks. We're told to flee from the causes of division and actively strive to do the work of unification. And that metaphor, knit together the hearts of men, it's just so beautiful and so intentional. Now, doing this work of unity, it requires a pretty fundamental shift in how we see things. The text is basically saying, hey, forget about yourself for a minute and turn your eyes towards your neighbor. It's about putting our energy into the well-being of others. Okay, let's get into another really powerful metaphor that the text uses to describe the purpose and potential of a human life. It compares a person to a tree. So here's the breakdown of how this whole tree metaphor works. First, think of your life as a tree. It gets its water, its nourishment from what the text calls the living water of the sacred words. A healthy tree, then, produces some very specific fruits, an upright character, virtuous deeds, and good words. But there's a pretty stark warning here. A tree with no fruit, it says it's basically just fit for the fire. And this is why it all matters so much. See, the point of having these fruits isn't just about you as an individual. It's way bigger than that. The text is claiming this has world-changing potential. If enough people cultivate these qualities, the light of justice would literally illuminate the entire planet, and everyone could live in peace.
All right, so as we start to bring this all together, the text leaves us with one final call to action, summarizing the key duties required of us in this day and age.
So let's just do a quick recap of these core duties, right? First, hold on tight to a higher purpose. Second, work tirelessly to establish unity among all people. Third, be attentive, really listen to divine guidance. And finally, adorn ourselves with virtues and let our righteous actions be the ultimate proof of our words.
And that really leaves us with this final question. And man, does it feel more relevant today than ever.
In a world that feels so divided, the text gives us this huge, profound challenge. What does it actually look like in our day-to-day lives to do that work of knitting together the hearts of men? Definitely something to think about.